Welcome to our fourth quarter carrier update series, where in every episode, I sit down with a different insurance company representative and ask them what you can expect during the upcoming renewal season. In this series, you'll get product updates directly from the carriers, like what do the new plan designs look like, or is there a network option that you need to be aware of, or what plan designs offer the most savings potential for your prospects and your clients, or what tools and resources does the insurance company make available to you in all those efforts. At the end of the day, we want you to win more business and retain your clients during a busy renewal season. So tune in, buckle up, and enjoy the show. Hello and welcome back to another installment of fourth quarter carrier updates. I am Jason Powers with Legacy Brokers, and today I have the pleasure of introducing you to Stephen Galasso, District Manager for National General Benefit Solutions. Stephen, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me, Jason.
Absolutely. Hey, we kind of talked in getting this all set up and organized. We talked about the fact that agents are hitting the fourth quarter stride in the midst of this 2020 pandemic. They're in virtual environments where they're getting ready to head into renewal season with many of them may have not really had an opportunity to get product and carrier updates from NatGen. So I appreciate you taking the time out and educating me, educating our brokers, and educating the industry for sure. Obviously, there's some big news that's come out here recently. You want to get started with kind of letting us know what's happening at NatGen?
Yeah, absolutely. We think it's big news. We think it's exciting. We recently entered into an agreement with AllState. They're purchasing us for somewhere around $4 billion, give or take a few bucks here or there. And being the largest small group level funded carrier that no one's ever heard of, we think brand recognition's only going to help. And a bigger pocketbook doesn't hurt either. So that's set to close tentatively by end of Q1, but we're already seeing some positive impacts from that acquisition here behind the scenes as we gear up for Q4 and position ourselves for 2021.
That's great. So it sounds like good news so far all the way around. Any sense as to what kind of impact that'll have on the group products, or is that still yet to come?
Yeah, for now, it's business as usual, which you would expect in a major acquisition like this. The good news is AllState doesn't really have a presence in health insurance today.
Right.
And so this is a true growth through acquisition type of purchase. To where we fully anticipate us to be NatGen will be a standalone arm of the AllState brand, but continue to do what we do best. And hopefully, again, the sense is that we'll just be able to be maybe a bit more aggressive, bring some new products to the table, and maybe get a little bit faster, more nimble as we get an influx of capital here, again, around end of Q1.
That's great. Great news. So as agents are heading out into that fourth quarter busy season, always good to kind of remind them of, who you're looking for as far as group clients. I know on our side, it essentially is the relationship with NatGen has been a really, really key relationship for us in our growth at Legacy Brokers, because you're one of the few level funded products that we can actually quote down to 2 employees. What are you seeing on your side as far as industries that are maybe preferred, or the kind of cases that you're looking for?
Yeah, I wouldn't lie to anybody. We love the young, healthy groups just like everybody else does, right?
Sure.
That's shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. But we joke here, and especially when we're establishing a newer relationship, anybody can write the easy cases. Sometimes it's just the flavor or the carrier of the week or the year. Yeah. It's the tougher cases where we really separate ourselves apart. And a lot of times that's where we start a relationship. So, there's a reason we write all industries. We're industry agnostic. Are some industries preferred over others? Of course, but no different than you'd find with any other carrier. But we will still do your 1099 groups. We'll still do your municipalities and nonprofits. Other carriers don't really want anything to do with those groups, and we're happy to write them. And as you mentioned, yeah, we go all the way down to 2. 2 to 50 is really our sweet spot. Though in the last 2 years, we've really had a lot of success swimming upstream. So we have a soft cap right now at about 400 enrolled. However, if you have experience and you want to bring us an opportunity on a group up to 1,000, we welcome the shot at it. And then, at this point in time, what we're really seeing is a lot of willingness or a lot of requests for that one extra layer of customization. And traditionally, with any other carrier, that's really limited to kind of plan design. But now with more network options, including a non-network option, which is RBP, it seems like groups are getting a lot more creative, either out of necessity or just pure willingness on what their plan options are actually going to look like.
And it's interesting you say that, Stephen, because when we talked previously, you mentioned to me that a pretty good chunk of your new business is coming from that RBP segment. RBP being the Medicare-based reference-based pricing model, where instead of a network, members can go to any provider that takes Medicare, and actually it's any provider really. You're just paying as a percentage of Medicare. What percentage of new business do you say is coming in that RBP model?
It's right at about 40% of new business today. Wow. And this time last year it was probably about 15. So I think there's a number of reasons for that. It could be the global climate that we're in. Like I said, it could be out of necessity, and it's something where I feel like, I've been doing this long enough that I can remember the conversations I had regarding level funded back in 2010, 2011, 2012, before it was this broad sweeping option.
Sure.
And the conversations I'm having about RBP or reference-based pricing are the exact same conversations I had back then. It's just a different product. And in my opinion, it's just the next lever to pull in the exercise of what's new, what other options do we have, and how do we continue to cut costs and control spend.
Yeah. We talk a lot about controlling claim spend, and we really do try to educate the brokers that we work with on maybe starting with PPO and digging into those claims reports and trying to identify where can you really start to see savings inside these level funded programs. And I think Netgen has a great lineup to kind of get employers started, dip their toes in a little bit, and then move on to a full RBP scenario. It's a great setup. We're looking forward to seeing how agents really pull that all together here in the fourth quarter, and really help get some traction, not just Netgen really, but industry wide. I think it's one of the solutions that can really help change the conversation in healthcare, because we saw a situation on a recent case where PPO discount came in. No one would have ever thought to even question it, but when we really looked at the data, it was 700% of Medicare. So to that particular administrator's credit, they went back and renegotiated that claim down to a more reasonable 240% of Medicare, which is what we would typically see in a PPO arrangement anyway. But yep. But those are the things that I think are the actual members of the plan and the employers that are buying these plans don't really understand. Kudos to Netgen and to the agents out there that are really bringing it to light. So.
Yep.
What I know apps are really the preferred method for the 2 to 50 space. I see that we can do experience underwriting if we've got 51 or more. Any other tips that we can look into for
Yeah,
medical?
yeah. Two areas I'd like to touch on. For the apps, we do require apps under 50, and that's 50 enrolled. Remember these numbers that we keep throwing around, we talk in enrolled numbers.
Sure.
And so, the good news on the apps front is we take any other carrier app. So if they've already done an app, send us a copy of that app. We may come back for a signature page, or we might just say, nope, these will do. We'll accept it for a firm offer. So we try to make life very easy, especially if they've already done an app. We're also on all the electronic app platforms as well, Easy Apps, FormFire, eCentral, and we do also have our own electronic application. The benefit of the electronic app is, I will tell you, you get faster underwriting. You can also loop in your activity wearable credits, your watch credits, and so that can amount to about 5% extra in discounts, depending on how many people submit their wearable data. So there are some benefits to using the Netgen app, but you certainly don't have to. And then in the 51 plus space, again, we do experience underwrite. We do realize that in that 51 to 99 enrolled space, it's pretty difficult to get experience unless they're on a level funded plan. And sometimes it's still incredibly hard to get that experience depending on who you're with. So if you can't get the experience in the 51 plus space, we do have a simplified one-page employee app that we can do either paper or electronically to get you an underwritten rate. And your expectation on a 2 to 50 enrolled group should be a 48-hour turnaround time for firm rates. We are usually days, if not weeks, ahead of the competition when it comes to a firm offer. In the 51 plus space, it usually takes about 5 to 7 business days.
Yeah, I know our team can attest to NatGen's turnaround time being the top in the game. I mean, we know that generally within a few hours of the submission over to your team, that we're going to have that proposal back. And if it's underwritten, it may take an extra day, and that's it. So it certainly put us in position to react quicker to cases that are waiting to the last minute. Maybe their incumbent broker doesn't bring in the renewal until a few weeks out, and so that's the point at which they decide to pick up the phone and respond to a prospect broker that's looking to unseat them.
It makes a big difference on those last minute cases you need help on too.
Absolutely.
And we'll clean up other people's messes all day. We don't have a problem with that either. So if you do have kind of a tough case, some changes last minute, you want to give us a last second look, we can do that.
Yeah. And the other thing that we've seen here, over the course of last year, we've been quoting a lot of the NatGen's dental product. What's new on the ancillary front that we need to make sure we know about?
Yeah, I think the big message is, this is iteration 1, in my opinion. The hope is to have a full suite of ancillary products to add on and bundle with our level funded plans. And of course, the first product we've done that with is dental, and it is a self-funded dental plan in the sense where it's tied in with your group's self-funded medical plan. The good news is it's incredibly easy to add on, click of a button, very simple and standard from a plan design standpoint. We utilize the Aetna Dental Network and the Cigna Dental Network. And the best part about it is it's one bill, one claims fund. So you can actually get a refund not only on your medical plan, but now on your dental plan too, depending on the performance of the claims fund.
Yeah, and I can also attest that the pricing is very competitive in that.
Yeah, it is. It's right in line. Again, from a plan design standpoint, it's what everybody's used to.
For sure. We here in the Kansas City market, we call it the $150,000 max, the JOCO plan. So it seems like that's the primary plan design that people are looking for.
Yep.
So So what, as we're kind of closing up the year and hopefully moving on to a much different 2021. What can agents do to maybe work a little smarter here in Q4?
Yeah, I mean, I think we could say this every fourth quarter. This is not 2020 specific by any means, but some good things have come out of the environment that we're in, this virtual environment, and one of them really has been the DocuSign employer submission that we've implemented. So I'd like to start off with that. On any group that you're submitting, we can do a 6-page DocuSign instead of our normal packet that's about that thick, and it cleans up submissions, makes our turnaround times trend closer to the 3 to 5 day or 3 day of the 3 to 5 day implementation. So that's going to make everybody's life a lot easier. And again, it gives you the ability to send a link, have them click to sign, and send it back. There doesn't need to be a face-to-face interaction if they don't want to. But like every year, I mean, I challenge everybody, submit your pre-screens early. We can do a firm offer 3 effective dates out. So right now we are making firm offers on 12/1 effective dates. And as we mentioned, our turnaround time, same day, next day quotes, 48-hour turnaround times on firm offers. And I will tell you, the one thing you'll get with us that I don't think you'll find anywhere else is the ability for your rep through the legacy team to give you an initial look or an initial indications. And Jason mentioned that earlier. A lot of times what happens is you'll send in a group and we'll get on the phone with legacy and we'll say, here's where we think we're going to be. Doesn't make sense to even go down the underwriting road. Do we need to send this to underwriting, or can we give the broker an advantage of giving them some valuable time back so that they can make an informed decision or a pivot if they need to, based off of what we're seeing as early indicators. So you're going to get that by working through legacy.
Yeah, I can attest to all of that. I will say that you generally within a few hours of submitting a quote request over to your team, I'm having a conversation with Hudson and talking about where do we need to be, how can we be the most competitive option on the in the market. So it's a great partnership. We appreciate everything that your team does for us, and looking forward to hitting some home runs here in the fourth quarter to head into 2021. Any last words of advice as brokers head out this renewal season? I know we've covered quite a bit. One thing I was going to ask you that I thought of as you were talking about submissions, with that core that are the RBP option. What a conversation I had with Pat kind of triggered this for me this morning. What you guys have really kind of set the standard for RBP and small group here in the last couple of years. What's been the claims history with regard to balance billing issues?
Yep.
I know some brokers that were initially a little more nervous about putting a case in that pointing them down that road. What can you say as they're out there presenting this year? What can you tell them?
Well, I would couple it with my final thought. I think that groups are at this point more willing to listen to alternative strategies than they've ever been before. And with RBP specifically, we've seen a huge uplift in business because of that. Yeah. And I will say that we were hesitant with RBP, just like any broker out there was hesitant with RBP. We were not pioneers, and we frankly weren't believers. And so when we implemented it in 2017, November of 2017, we started in 10 key states, and we dipped our toe in. Since then, we are drinking the RBP Kool-Aid, right? So we are 100% believers in the way that we do it. And we've had the success and the stats to back it up. So I think the latest stat I was given at the end of last month was we've had roughly 300,000 claims on our RBP product. of which we're running at about a 2% balance bill rate. So, on the flip side, I like to talk about, we have a 98% acceptance rate of just our reimbursement levels. Now, I will tell everyone and anyone watching this video, if we can sell a network plan, let's sell a network plan, right? It's just because when even though there's only 2% of balance bills, those balance bills can be noisy, but education is key. And the way that we handle those balance bills is quick and fair. And so what that translates to is we've sold 100% of those 2% of balance bills, and our longest negotiation took 9 business days.
Wow.
So fair and reasonable from a negotiation standpoint, and also very, very fast in how we approach those balance bills and get them settled.
That's great. It's great news all the way around. Like I said, I think this is the year that we'll see more and more small groups move in that direction. I think last year it was, at least for the groups that we were working on, I think it was just a little too early. Agents were still a little timid about it. But the larger group segment, and then even hospital systems that are promoting RBP in certain markets, I mean, you've got communities and municipalities that are coming out in the news saying that they're going RBP with their health plan, and so that I think really helps some of the smaller groups understand that it's not, it's just like you said with level funded a few years ago. It's not, it may be new, but it's not at all scary. So
sure.
So we're looking forward to a successful fourth quarter with NatGen. Stephen, as always, I appreciate our time together. We'll see you on the other side.
Sounds great, Jason. Thank you.
All right, have a good one. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode in our fourth quarter carrier update series. Be sure to check out all the episodes on our website at www.legacybrokerskc.com and follow us on LinkedIn to join in the conversation. And let us help you with your fourth quarter cases. Whether you have a tough renewal that you need help with or you have a new prospect, we shop the entire market to get the most competitive rates available for you every single year. Let our expertise in self-funded group health plans be your competitive advantage. We provide an entire suite of back-office support services for agents, from quoting to case install and renewal support. We have your back every step of the way, always here to help agents just like you when you need us. So, send us your RFP today. See for yourself.